Are you ready? I'm Vin.
I'm Sori. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Dani, California? Like a person's name?
Dani, California.
Dani? I have no idea.
I had a good friend named Dani. Rest in peace to the big homie. Alright. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dani, California. I feel like we had this discussion, and we've had it pretty explicitly on a multitude of occasions. But I'll do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that most reaction channels cut up their music is because if you do that, you are able to then monetize that video. If you don't do that, the record label jumps in and basically funnels all the ad revenue that you were going to get to the record label. Now, we're good with that because our mindset is we're going to offset it on Patreon. So we don't care about that. But what happens is, if you use an official video, not only will they send you a copyright claim and you know, monetize your work.
Take the monetization.
They will block the video so that you cannot see it. So the leprous video that's there is not there because we had some oversight or whatever. What ends up happening is we shoot the entire video. Sori then goes and edits it. Then when Sori edits it, I check our account, and then once the video is uploaded to YouTube, we 90% of the time get a copyright claim. Sometimes though we get one that says your video has been blocked. Yeah. Which is what we saw with the leprous video, which is why Sori did that. So it's not a...
So I had to put a little card in there that says, look, the video got blocked, so we had to silence it. So I know it's not as fun watching it that way, but if you follow the link in the description of the video, it'll show you the exact video that we used.
Correct.
Sometimes I can put a lyric video in its place and it doesn't really line up good, but it'll work. But there wasn't even a lyric video to be used. So unfortunately, that was the direction that we had to go with that, which obviously stunk.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why things are the way they are now. Listen, dear listener, if you have some solution to that problem that does not include cutting up the video because we just feel like it's kind of disrespectful to the band to do so, please let us know. Because we're open to all takers, and obviously we would benefit from it because we'd be able to.
I wouldn't have to re-edit an already edited video for one
at 3 a.m, and we wouldn't have to. Then we'd be able to enjoy some of the ad revenue like our compatriots do. Anyway.
So with this one, what I did is I've got a lyric video loaded up for us to watch, but I stacked it in iMovie so we can, in the background, see the official video. So I won't be able to put the official video in for you guys, but we are viewing it, so yay for us.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? And...
of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swinging a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. She never knew that there was anything more than gold. What in the world does your company take me for? Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on a bank in the state of Indiana. She's a runner, rebel and a stunner. On the merry way saying, baby, what you gonna? Looking down the barrel of a hot metal 45, just another way to survive. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess. I'm your priest. Day in California, day was gonna come when I was gonna moan ya. A little loaded, she was stealing another breath. I love my baby to death. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess, I'm your praise. Yeah, yeah. Who knew that all this time? Who knew that all this time? Did you say goodbye to you? Did you say? Push the fader, gifted animator, one for the now and 11 for the later. Never made it up to Minnesota. North Dakota man with a gun for the quota. Down in the Badlands, she was saving the best for last. It only hurts when I laugh. Gone too fast. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess, I'm your priest. Yeah, yeah. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess, I'm your priest. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Okay. It looked like they were like, okay, so in the music video, which we aren't allowed to show, it looked like they were making like or mocking lots of different like band styles.
Yeah, I mean the
You know, you have your black and white. I mean, who is this supposed to look like?
maybe it's just talking about bands throughout time.
It
You got
could
the
be.
50s swing band, and then you had
these. It was just
the Beatles. That's basically the Beatles style in the 60s. That's the Beatles. And then the 70s, it had that Jimi Hendrix, you know, like crazy colors. And then it went to the 80s, and then the 90s.
It was just, they did a good job, like just going the whole,
bands, right? And then 90s, you had the Cobain style. And then in the 2000s, you had the Mudvayne looking dudes, you know.
Yeah, it was just interesting what they did with this. And then
yeah, I don't think it was a mockery. It was more just music throughout the decades.
They were acting kooky about it.
I mean, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Like just the way that they were.
It doesn't look to me like they were acting kooky about it. It just looks like they were performing how, you know, those bands performed through the decades. I thought it was pretty smart. These guys have a very good grasp of melody. Now, I'm saying that, but the other song we listened to also had a really, really good melody thing. And then, of course, the other side, I think it's called Slide or something like that. That had a really good melody in the chorus too, like that California. Yeah, like
I
that.
like when he said, "She's my priestess, I'm your priest."
Yeah, yeah.
Cute. I thought it was cute.
So there's Dani California on her. She's on a black horse, I think. So there you go.
So it's about a girl. But then they're doing the whole band thing in the video. Like, I don't understand the connection.
Well, I don't know if Dani California is a personification of
music.
You know, the concept of going from a small town to the big city. Like that's one of the things they did in that Californication song too. Was, you know, the concept of the big dreams and the glamour and the glitz of California.
I mean, if that's the case, then I would say even the name itself, Dani to me is kind of like. You know, Dani sounds kind of country bumpkinish when you think like Dani. And then you have...
Really? For a girl?
No, not so much for a girl.
I've only met one young lady named Dani, and she wasn't a country bump. She was from Texas, but...
Mm-hmm. That would be country though.
Yeah.
But she wasn't like that type of person. Yeah, I know. But I'm thinking more the boy version of the name, not so much the girl.
Dietz, his name was Dani. He was from California.
Yeah, when I think of the name Dani, I don't think of somebody I'm going to meet in California. I think of, you know...
Very strange.
Daniel is the name, Dani.
Strange. Getting born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a copper and her mom was a hippie.
What's a copper?
A cop, probably. Police officer.
Oh. Well, that's an interesting combo.
Well,
a cop and a hippie.
Well, I just think that, you know, Papa and copper works well with accentuation. Sometimes that's all it comes down to when you're rhyming. Papa was a copper and a mama was a hippie. But I think it's actually purposeful here because that's a pretty good contradiction, and that sets up the tension for her life. She's clearly comfortable with a firearm.
Yep.
But she's also, which would be the copper side. And, you know, the stereotype is that cops are more right-wing conservative, they're more pro-gun, law and order. So she took took the pro-gun stuff from her dad, but the restless spirit thing, hippie thing, she got from her mom. So it's a really good setup to what goes on for the rest of the song, which anytime, because my background is hip-hop, anytime somebody is telling a story with their lyricism, I have hella respect for that, because that is one of the things that in my mind, puts Biggie above pretty much every rapper before or since. Like, Biggie could do, you know, regular, you know, radio stuff, but he could also tell a story. And this one tells a story, but it sets her up pretty awesome. You know, she's born in the state of Mississippi. She's got a dad for a cop. Mom is a hippie. But, you know, she could swing a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. You never knew that there was anything more than poor. What in the world? What does your company take me for? You know, like, so she's getting, like, you know, getting that unrest that you feel when it's like, yo, I'm not getting paid my worth, or I'm not, you know, whatever. And then she turns to a life of crime. Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on a bank in the state of Indiana.
She's a runner, rebel, and a stunner. On
her merry way, saying, baby, what you gonna? And, you know, people can't finish that sentence because she already done blown them away with a barrel of a hot metal 45.
They called her baby, too.
Yeah, it's the last thing you say.
You thought she was just some girl.
And then there's the just another way to survive, which is a line that criminals use all the time, and 95%
to justify their
95% of the time it's bullshit. Like, you didn't have to rob a bank, Dani California.
You didn't have to shoot that person.
You didn't have to shoot that person to survive. Stop it. You didn't have to do that.
You just didn't want to be poor.
You didn't want to be poor. You didn't want to do a 9 to 5.
You didn't want to survive poor.
Right. Yeah, there's a song that I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but it really kind of encapsulated the attitude of the drug dealers in the hood.
Yeah.
And it started out with, fuck a 9 to 5, I'ma drive a 5. So a 5 is a 500, you know. This is 600 was like the best car, but a 500 was pretty, you know. So the guy's saying, fuck a 9 to 5, I'ma drive a 5. So it's like, we know what he's doing. Like, you're not drug dealing to survive, my guy. You're drug dealing because A, you don't want to do a 9-to-5 job, and B, you want fancy cars. Isn't that true? Tell the truth. That's why you're doing it. So, again, are there people that, like, you know, like, it's a whole adage of, like, who's more criminal, the kid who steals a piece of bread or the society that creates a kid that has to steal bread? So I think in that perspective, like, there are probably categories of people who lived in such a horrible society where that is necessary to literally survive, but not in America. You know, we had this conversation a couple days ago when I told Dorian, like, once you're out, man, you're out. So, like, the time here is you're walking on a tightrope and there's a giant safety net for you. But I said, when you go out, man, you're out. You got to make your own way. And I said, I don't care if if you end up on the street and your kids end up in a homeless shelter. I'm like, I'm not taking you in. And, oh my gosh, I've lived in a homeless shelter.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I'm still surprised by that.
I lived in one as a kid.
But at the same time...
as a matter of fact, I lived in bunches of them.
But at the same time, you know, my father used to work really hard for his paycheck. You know, he was trying to, you know, have his own business and stuff like that. And people would always see, you know, the work that he did and the places that he got to, and they would always think that he was like, you know, just super, super rich, and they were always asking him for stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Always asking him. Grown people, I don't even know why I knew about it. Maybe I would overhear them. I'm not sure. Whoops. But people would always be asking my parents for loans, and grown people always asking my parents for loans. It was kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
And I remember thinking, that's kind of weird. Like, that's not even their parents.
Well, here's the thing. I'm more likely to give somebody. We don't do loans. Somebody's in trouble. We just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to do that for a stranger than for Dorian.
No, I hear you.
And the reason is because he's been taught.
Right.
And he's been taught.
And he has certain privileges.
Oh, he's been given a massive, and he knows it. He's been given a massive head start above everybody else. And if he makes, you've got to try really, really hard to fail at life being a person in Dorian's situation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I told him, like, we're not doing the trust fund baby thing. We're not doing the thing where, you know, because right now he kind of has that same sort of mindset, which is I'm gonna drive a 5. Like, I have to have the most, like, the first car is gonna be a $15,000 used Mercedes or whatever.
No, he said his first car is gonna be $40,000. Didn't he say $40,000?
Yeah.
Did he say $20,000?
Yeah. So I said.
But he has to buy his own car. So he doesn't understand how long it takes to make that kind of money.
Yeah, but again, he's got. I mean, he did a presentation about stocks, bonds, and annuities and stuff. It was a very good, solid presentation. Earned himself $100 just on that alone. So my point is, if you're set up like that since you're 14 years old, and you find a way to screw yourself over to the point where you end up on the streets, my guy, I'm not rescuing you. No way. That's the motivation that you need to fly. It's the same motivation I had. That time in the homeless shelter, and it was just Dorian, you know, and my life was hectic, but, you know, I had to find a way to earn. You know, it motivates you, puts that fire in you, and you know, it got me to where I am today. So, if, you know, and I had none of the advantages that he had. So, anyway,
I hear you.
It's just like excuses that people make. Oh, I got to do this to survive. And then the other thing is like this is where, you know, I point the finger at myself, because it's true. There's some people that put themselves in bad situations where they have to do bad things in order to survive. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you watch these. There's a particular movie I'm thinking about with Adam Sandler. And it's one of these, you know, flawed characters that you look at him and you know that particular character flaw is just going to do him in. But, you know, it's one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then there's that movie Changing Lanes. It's the same situation where the protagonists, like, they're always getting in trouble, but there's always somebody else to blame, which there is. But it's like, you know, you keep walking by a bonfire with your clothes soaked in gasoline.
Clothes.
And then when the thing lights off, you go, "Hey, I didn't start this fire. I just, you know, now I got to react." And that was the situation I was in, right? Like, so, like, anyway, long story short, this girl like personifies all that, and now she's going to California, and I don't know if the chorus is a double entendre or not, because it says California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess, I'm your priest. So it's like, California, is he specifically talking about the girl? Is he, thinking about the girl and then saying rest in peace? Or is he saying, now that this girl is on the way to California, California's screwed because this girl is going to bring a bunch of carnage. I think it's a former, not the latter, because the next line is California, show your teeth.
Yeah.
Which is, I think this guy is probably fascinated by how California just eats people alive. Because it was the same similar concept with Californication, although the girl in Californication was more like a passive victim, whereas this girl is kind of like, she's not passive at all.
She's a fighter over there.
Right,
she's a lover, baby, and a fighter.
She's heading into a head-on collision with California, and I think she ends up dying, obviously, and she's obviously not bigger than the state, but she gave it a damn run for its money, and from that perspective, I admire her. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty cool. She's a lover, baby, and a fighter. She'd have seen her coming when it got a little brighter with a name like Dani, California. A day was gonna come when I was gonna mourn. Yeah. A little loaded, she was still in another breath. I love my baby to death. Yeah. It's just that's actually one of the concepts in literature that really fascinated me the first time I was made aware of that motif, which is the tragic character who you can tell from the beginning is destined to die based on this character flaw. It's like Achilles in Troy, where his mother at the beginning says, if you go there, you're gonna die, but if you go, you'll be an immortal, you'll be a legend. And so, because of just how he is, he cannot resist it. So he goes, knowing full well that there's no way he's, and so
his demise.
So that, and that's where you get the term Achilles heel or whatever. Like, everybody's got that like one flaw that then like dooms them. And and it's like, you as the audience are watching, like, would you just change this one thing about yourself, And the person just can't do it. They just can't.
It's in their code.
It's in their code. They can't do it. It's like those guys, like they get killed on their last deployment or something like that. Like, I'm thinking of a specific guy right now. Not only was it his last deployment, but he volunteered to go to a certain, whatever. And that's where he got torn out. It's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. But anyway, so that's the thing about this girl, is that like you can tell in the song that she's doomed. Very, very early on into the song, you can tell that this girl is doomed. Push the fader, gifted animator, 1 for the now and 11 for the later. Never made it up to Minnesota. North Dakota man was gunning for the quota. Down in the Badlands, she's saving the best for last. It only hurts when I laugh. Gone too fast. So she ran into some dude who, gunning for the quota, I'm assuming is he wanted the share of the drug money, and she was playing around.
I thought she was robbing banks.
Well, she did. She robbed banks up here. It says it explicitly, robbing a bank in the state of Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
I think she goes to California, but she never makes it to Minnesota because she died in North Dakota, and it looks like she went out in a blaze of glory. So, and there's some people that are good with that. There's some people, like, I've met people that are like, I would rather,
Yeah.
I'd rather go out like that. Like I don't want to, die on my bed at 95 years old, but I would be extremely surprised if I left the planet in that condition. Yeah, I think I'm fascinated by those characters because I think I always felt like I was that character. Like, I feel like whatever happens, it's going to be completely avoidable, and just because I'm following some code of mine or whatever, and I know that about myself, and I don't care. I just
okay.
It's just, I think for some people, like, living forever on this planet is not necessarily the goal. I think like, people just have to accept that about people. I think there's a difference between that and like being crazy and suicide. Like, I'm not gonna jump off a bridge or something like that, but
Yeah.
And I'm not certain that it is a flaw, because I don't think, I think dying for the right reasons is a good thing, not a bad thing. So, but there you go. Good song. Very, like...
It's such a weird thing. I don't even know how
melody.
to respond to, like, you saying that, because, you know, obviously that would mean that you're not with me anymore. And I'm not sure what type of person I am in those situations anymore. I've changed a lot over the years. Like, having kids changed me a lot. Like,
Yes.
Like, I want to be safe, so I'm here for them, because I feel like I need to make sure that they're good. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So.
Having kids really didn't change those things about me.
Yeah, it's something, it was some, well, you carry a child inside of you, and then you birth it. It's just, I don't know, the experience itself is, like, I always thought that I was going to care a lot, obviously, about my kids and love them, but I didn't know that I was going to feel the way that I do. And it's, you know, it's weird because, like, I even, you know, it's obviously even with your kids that I didn't birth, I still feel like that kind of mama bear sort of feelings, where it's like, well, I gotta be there. You know, when that kid called, you know, Johan a name out there, I did not like that. Remember, I was so mad. And then the thing that happened with Dorian at his job, I was like, I'm not spending any of my money there.
I mean, yeah, that's your, yeah. Yeah, I think that that's right, that it has that type of effect on you. Mm-hmm. I think that's appropriate.
So, like, the thought of growing old and being pushed around in a wheelchair, and like I remember how my meme was when it like got to where that does not interest me at all. Like, that seems like one of the worst. But then I think, and everybody was complaining so much at the nursing home, like, to be around all those negative old people, that is like, oh my word. And the positive ones are so few and far between. Like, that does not seem fun at all. But then to go away, like, leave my kids, I don't want that either.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I mean, obviously they have to be able to live their own life and not lean on mama, but it's hard to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, yeah, I like it.
What do you give the song?
8.2?
It's a 9.4 for me.
I actually wish it would have been a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Did you notice this? Gone too fast.
Yeah.
When she died, people say they usually, you know, they left too
Gone
early,
too soon. Yeah.
But this one was too fast.
Too soon.
Well, I just thought too fast, like, that whole shootout, whatever happened, must have happened so quick because she was good at what she did, probably. So somebody had to beat her out. So whew.
There you go. There's always somebody. There's always
this is
somebody.
a weird review.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels weird.
Energy's a little bit weird.
Yeah, the energy is very weird. Anyway, that's that.
There we are. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Was a hippie in Alabama. She was swinging a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. She never knew that there was anything more than gold. What in the world does your company take me for? Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on a bank in the state of Indiana. She's a runner, rebel and a stunner. On the mirror way saying, baby, what you gonna? Looking down the barrel of a hot metal 45. Just another way to survive. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess. I'm your priest. Yeah, yeah. She's a lover, baby, and a fighter. Should've seen it coming when it got a little brighter. With a name like Dani, California, day was gonna come when I was gonna mourn ya. A little loaded, she was stealing another breath. I love my baby to death. never made it up to Minnesota. North Dakota man was a gunner for the quota. Down in the Badlands, she was saving the best for last. It only hurts when I laugh. Gone too fast. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. Keep on priestess on your face. Yeah, yeah. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess on your face. Getting born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swinging a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. She never knew